All right. So my clock is off. Date is January 1st, 2020. And I'm about to become an Avenger. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit different from our usual content here on this channel. So last year I challenged myself to prepare and run a marathon. And I actually did 2 of them. I was really happy. I did one in May and I did one in November. And I've documented the whole training and also some of the downfalls and then the actual race. I want to do something different for 2020. So, as you know, here at TLEV, we are the biggest nerds you could possibly ever meet.
Avengers!
We love theme parks. We love movies. We love video games and comic books. We are huge comic fans. Coming out this summer is Avengers Campus. And it is the thing that I am most excited for 2020 coming to the Disney parks. I am so excited for Avengers Campus that I wanted to challenge myself. Like how I did last year, challenging myself to do a race that I never thought I could do. I'm gonna push my body to the limit. I wanna become an Avenger. I want to join the Avengers for the opening date of Avengers Campus. I think what's going to be the hardest part for me is the fact that this is going to take time. So this is it. This is my goal. What am I going to be doing between now? Well, as you're seeing it, this is all in the past. What am I doing? I am dieting. I am exercising. I am training. I am reshaping my body so that I look like an Avenger. I'm going to be taking the healthy route for this. So that means no super soldier serum, no Wakandan herbs, or radioactive spider bites. This is going to be hard work. I want to challenge myself, like how I challenged myself last year. I want to challenge myself this year and see where I can go this year. I'm taking you all along with me. So, let's get to the challenge. So January showed me just how much of a challenge this transformation is going to be for me. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be approaching this vegetarian style, a plant-based diet. Problem is with January, I started the first 9 days not in this country. I was in France with my grandma, and my grandma doesn't understand vegetarianism at all. She was making me chicken, pork. It was good, but also I felt very guilty because this was the challenge that I set myself to do. So I started finding meat alternatives when I was in France, finding patties, chicken nuggets that were not actually made of chicken, and it was all soy-based products, and it was delicious. So I knew when I came back, I had to look for those kind of products. On January 9th, I took the plane and I packed my own lunch. And this is a disclaimer to anybody who's flying overseas or has a red eye, or is just, flying for more than 5 hours, I guess. Make sure to pack your own meal, especially if you're on a strict diet, because the plane food will not be anywhere near what you need. And also, it won't taste as good as if you prepared something. So I had pineapple, I had a salad, I made myself like a quick sandwich, of course with no meat in it. So when we landed on January 10th, I was jet lagged. And so in order to fight that, I went to the gym. And it was hard. So much that it actually ended up being my only day that I went to the gym in January. I know, not off to a great start. The problem was that I have a part-time job, which is from 8 to 2 every single day. And I also am studying for the LSAT because I'm taking the test on February 22nd. So throughout January, I really couldn't find any time that would work in my schedule for a full 1 hour, 2 hour workout. This was really challenging and finding that time because I really need to do well on the LSAT. My work hours I can't really change. It's 8 to 2 every day. That's it. And then LSAT, I'm studying 3 to 4 hours every day. So January was really a focus on being a vegetarian, working on that lifestyle. I felt different, I felt good. Problem is, January is really where everybody starts their New Year's resolutions, and a lot of corporations know this. So I started seeing that Denny's, Carl's Jr., Burger King, and The Habit each all had these Beyond Meat or vegetarian burger options. And I figured, well, it's vegetarian, right? I quickly became a junkatarian in January because I wanted to try all these different burgers because they just tasted so good. The problem is those were just skyrocketing all of my carbohydrates, my proteins, and all my fats. Everything that I was trying to avoid and that I had been avoiding when I was in France, I was now piling that back on. So there was a period of time, and you can clearly see it when you watch TLEV horror videos, where I look bloated again. And that's the motivation I needed going into February. Of course, I was still eating good snacks during the day, especially when I was at work, and staying hydrated. It made me feel so good when I was drinking more and more water. The reason why I chose to be vegetarian is because a lot of the actors, like Chris Hemsworth, for Endgame decided to go vegetarian and really help them. But they said that there were some side effects. I'm experiencing those side effects, I'll tell you that. The water, having to constantly pee. I feel like as soon as I take a drink, I immediately have to rush to the bathroom. It is this constant flow, figuratively and literally, throughout my body.
One thing that I do want to talk about is that I keep having this nightmare. And this nightmare is that I eat something that I think is going to be vegetarian, and it turns out to have some kind of meat product. So I always go afterward for the grilled cheese. This is like the 6th night in a row that I have this nightmare. I don't know. I guess that's just how determined I am with this.
Oh boy. So February taught me that this challenge might be too much for me to handle. I had work. I had studying for the LSAT, and I just really did not have time to go to the gym in between. Center Fit was the app that I wanted to use. It's an app designed by Chris Hemsworth, who of course plays Thor, and I figured that if I was going to learn from an Avenger, I should probably learn from the God of Thunder. But the only thing that I could really do with the Center Fit app during February was look at recipes. I was even thinking about pushing back this challenge because I was working at my my fellowship was to go all the way until March 20th. Actually, I even had my LSAT on February 22nd, so I figured that after February 22nd, I can really hit the ground running with this challenge. But I would still be a little bit, of a challenge because I wouldn't have work. Or so I thought.
And just like that, my crappy fellowship experience is finally over. I'm really, really happy to be done with Riverside County. This is awful, and it feels so liberating right now. I'm unemployed! On Friday, February 15th, I got a very interesting email from the agency that I was doing my fellowship through, saying that my last day for my fellowship was Thursday, February 20th. I was blown away by how soon it was, and I was really, really excited to be done because when I was working at my fellowship, I really felt like I let myself go in every sense of the word. My apartment was a wreck. I myself was a mess. I really wasn't eating well. Of course, I'd cut out most of being a junkatarian to basically just making it my cheat meals, right? When I saw Birds of Prey in the first week of February, I had myself a little veggie burger from The Habit. The thing is, calories are not all made equal. And I learned that really quickly with this challenge and with February. So much of the fact that at the end of February, I was making sure that I was focusing more on making food and taking the ingredients and making sure that I knew how fresh and organic these ingredients were. And then that was helping with my body, with making myself feel better internally. If I were to actually eat anything outside of what my diet was, I really did feel like I felt greasy, I felt sick, I felt like I was a mess inside. So I was ecstatic to finish my fellowship, to say the least. I really did not enjoy my time at the county level of Riverside County. When I was working there, it was very much a fraternity mindset. I didn't enjoy it at all. In fact, it made me think a lot about, what Captain America says, right? I don't like bullies. And I agree with that. I don't like bullies. And I was surrounded by bullies, so it really affected how I felt about myself. But once I was done, that weekend, I took the LSAT. I felt great. I was more prepared than when I took it in November. But then, once everything was done, and I was able to start February 24th, I hit the ground running.
So part of this challenge, of course, is not only just to eat like the Avengers, but also to work out like the Avengers. And I just did the first day of the Center 6 challenge. I'm 3 weeks behind, but it feels like I'm 3 years behind. I am drenched for the first day. When we were only doing the warm-ups, I thought, oh crap, I am way over my head. But then going through the actual exercise, I pushed myself through. I thought, come on, this is what you signed up for. So I know it's gonna get easier, but for the first day, which was really easy, it was just loose weights. So I was doing 15 pounds just because I'm starting, and even then that was a lot. Look how red I am. So red. This is not the screen or anything. I'm this red. So definitely gonna get a lot easier. I'm gonna go home. I know that people do protein shakes. That's my plan for the rest of the day and for the rest of these next 6 weeks.
February 24th was the first day that I started the Center 6. It's on the Center Fit app. It is a 6-week program with 6 sets of 6 different workouts each day for 6 days of the week. And it definitely kicked my butt, that's for sure. The first week was really hard for me. On the first day, I was very nauseous at the end. And then on the third day, I felt like I had dislocated my right arm because I was doing weights, so much to the fact that it didn't really get until that Friday with how sore I was. There was literally a moment when I did a lunge that I felt like everything snapped into place. And I was like, oh, this is how it's supposed to feel. So now that I was, unemployed, I was actually at home able to focus on making home-cooked meals and making sure that they were healthy and that they were vegetarian, maybe even sometimes even vegan-friendly recipes, making sure that I was getting all my carbohydrates, getting all my proteins, making sure to get everything that I needed in order to build muscle and also continue down the path of the lean figure that I want.
So one of the main reasons why I worked on this was a part of my apartment that I hadn't touched since basically the day I moved in. Never really used this space, and it was piling up with leaves. Like, there were leaves everywhere. It was dusty. There were hornets' nests. So I figured that it was time to really clear out the space and to clean it, so that way I had this extra space, almost like making it a healthier environment for me. I'm working on this being a healthy environment, but I need also my outside to be a healthy environment.
I was really happy to clean my balcony of my apartment. It was actually something that I had been pushing off for years because I just kept saying to myself, I don't really have time for this. I really don't have the energy. I have studying, I have this, blah, blah, blah. Always coming up with excuses. And I realized that those excuses were holding me back from my true potential. So very much like how I'm cleaning the inside of my body and cleaning my soul, I wanted to clean the home that I live in. So it took 2.5 hours, swept everything up, and I cleaned all the glass to get rid of all the dust. And I love how the balcony turned out. And this was the mindset that I had going into March. This was my plan, that I was going to continue working on myself, working on the Center 6 program, along with eating well. And this was a new chapter, really taking this time in between from the fellowship to when I actually start law school to focus on myself. It's a very monumental task between now and when Avengers Campus opens up. I mean, this is usually something that the actors spend a year and a half doing, and I'm doing it in just a few months. But I know I can do it. I know I can. And I'm gonna be more strict with my diet. I'm gonna be more strict with how I present myself, right? How I work on everything. I mean, I feel my body's already changing a little bit. I feel like my skin is clearer. I feel like I am just waking up healthier. One thing about waking up though, I am always hungry now. I'm drinking about 1 gallon of water a day, and I am just hungry. It's just, I now understand why these actors do about 6 meals a day. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I have about 3 meals and snacks in between, one of them being post-workout protein shake, but I have not gotten to the point where I'm eating full-size 6 meals. I don't know if I actually will yet, or if I will at any point of this challenge, but that's in the future, and I'll let you all know when that happens. But in terms of February, it was a roller coaster. I'm excited for March, and I'm excited to continue this challenge.
Announcement of Disneyland in California closing Saturday, all because of the coronavirus.
The decision by Disney and the other theme parks here in the capital of theme parks is that they will shut down beginning tomorrow night.
Both Disney and Universal say after Sunday night, all their parks will be shut down.
It's extending its closure until April 19th. That includes Universal City Walk and also resort hotels.
You don't need to do that.
Because you're just holding my position.
Yeah, nice. That was close. That's a goal. We are now one apiece.
I would like to try again.
We're tied up. Feel the tension. It's fun. That was terrible. Now you have a chance to win. And you've won. Congratulations. Fair game.
So March was terrible. So this month was full of curveballs. At the beginning, I was really confident in March. I was making myself dishes that were really, really good, very vegetarian and almost vegan based. I was working out 6 days a week, and I was getting stronger every single week. Then March 11 came around, and this was the day that as I was at the gym, I found out Avengers Campus had the opening date of July 18th, 2020.
Today at 7:30 a.m. it was announced that Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure is going to open July 18th. I'm so excited. I ran over here to the gym, did a great workout, and I'm really excited. It's so close.
So this meant already that I was going to be having like an extra month. So I already knew that this video was actually going to end up being a little bit long. Then March 12th happened.
So word just broke that Disneyland is closing starting March 14th all the way till the end of the month. That's annoying, and I hope that does not affect in any way Avengers Campus progress. All of the press events that we were scheduled to do for the month of March, along with all of our business meetings that we had scheduled for the month of March, have now been canceled.
And it turned out that the delay was going to be even longer, not just for the Disneyland Resort, but also for Universal Studios Hollywood, for Six Flags Magic Mountain. Then it got to the point where all Disney parks, including the Disney Cruise Line, were going to no longer be in operation. Now, I was living in Riverside at the time of all this happening, but I actually had to move out of Riverside because the entire county went under lockdown. As a result, the gym that I was going to also was no longer in operation, so I canceled my membership and I started doing at-home exercises. I was fortunate enough to actually find a pair of 20-pound dumbbells and continue the Center 6 training throughout the rest of March. But it's been really weird looking back at the month of March, because March 1st for me was a very different mindset than March 31st. It's a weird time that we are currently in. Well, hopefully, as you're watching this, the time that we're in has subsided. It is now in the past, and I'm just reminding you of what once was, and now you're reflecting on what it was and not what it is now.
Announced today, Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World will remain closed until further notice.
So I'm not exactly sure what to do with this video anymore. This video has really become a lot longer than I hit the record button in January. It's now becoming this evolution of our own space and time, reflecting on every single month. I hope for the sake that all of you who are watching this
we're not too affected with the COVID-19 outbreak and how the virus has affected our society and our daily lives. I know it's been really hard for myself, but I've been having a routine, and that's what I found to be the most beneficial. My daily routine is that I wake up at 7 a.m., I make sure to work out before 11 a.m., and then I edit for about 3 hours in the afternoon. Those were like the staples of every single day that really helped motivate me to continue through this. And this is what I'm gonna be doing towards April, but I'm hoping that in April we have more and more answers. What does that mean for Avengers Campus? Well, Avengers Campus now, I'm expecting to not open until late fall, early winter. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney pushes Avengers Campus until January 2021. I hope it doesn't get to that point. But in terms of operations, I don't think any of the theme parks will be opening back up until mid-July. So no matter when the parks open again, I'd give it a couple weeks before construction starts again, and that at 4 months will be the opening of Avengers Campus. I'm here, stuck at home. I've got a pair of weights. This is what I'm doing in order to stay sane. But no, all jokes aside, I hope that everyone who's watching this, that you weren't too affected, that you are doing much better than this troubling time that we are in now. And I hope for you, and I hope for myself, that we can go back to some form of normal life very, very soon. Right now I'm going through old footage, clearing out space on my computer. Found a video from 2 years ago talking about all the pros and cons for Marvel Land. So now I'll list out my pros and cons for why I find Marvel Land to be a good thing, but could also be a bad thing. And now I'm doing this, what seems like a year-long video on Avengers Campus. So I should have seen this coming when I made that video. That Avengers Campus was definitely going to be something that I wanted to cover. April was very similar to March. So instead of talking about the negative sides, I really want to highlight the accomplishments that I had in April. First things first, I finished the Center 6 Challenge, the 6-week program. Just finished my workout for today, and the video that I made for today just finished exporting all before 11:30. How's your day going? And I felt significantly stronger at the end than I did at the beginning. I had a little bit more muscle definition around here, around my arms after the 6 weeks. And after that, I decided to continue the process by still working out 6 days a week. At the beginning, it felt very different because I wasn't doing high interval training every single day. So I tried to incorporate that a little bit more. I tried doing 3 out of the 6 days during the week. Another huge accomplishment that I was really proud of in April was the fact that I passed 100 days without soda. This was huge for me because I used to drink Coca-Cola nearly every other day. It was a lot. And the fact that I actually lasted more, and I still am continuing more than 100 days without Coca-Cola, was just really big for me. I was really happy about it. In April, it really did hit me hard, the fact that, being in quarantine, there were a couple days out of the month that I just really felt down. My schedule for every day of working out before 11 and then editing in the afternoon, those were good staples, but it became so much of a routine that some days I just felt like, what's the point? But I still did all the work. It's been tough. With April, I have those 2 big accomplishments. Really happy for that. I just saw on the official Disneyland website that Avengers Campus has changed from the July 18th, 2020 announcement to just saying Avengers Campus coming soon. Still don't know when the theme parks are going to be opening up again. There are some speculations that it'll be closed until the beginning of 2021. So that's my recap for April. All we can do now is just wait.
So I went on a Zoom date the other night. First in 5 weeks. I sat there with my laptop thinking, what are we even supposed to talk about?
What did you talk about?
Same old crap. How much things have changed. How much we miss Phantasmic. My job, his job. Then it got kind of quiet. So we put on some old ride POVs. He cried after watching Credit Coaster.
What about you?
I cried right before Rise of the Resistance. But I'm seeing him again tomorrow, so.
That's great. Did the hardest part, took the jump, didn't know where you're going to come down. And that's it. That's those little brave baby steps that we got to take to try and become whole again, to try and find a purpose. I went on Rise of Resistance for the first time March 1st. Fell in love with that ride immediately. Woke up 12 days later and gotta move on. Gotta move on. Disney World is in our hands. It's been left to us, guys. We gotta do something about it. Otherwise, Disney should have kept all their parks closed.
May was definitely a time for me to reflect. Turned 23, and to celebrate, of course, I shaved.
You get a donation, we will do that.
$500!
Oh my god! High cheeks.
Oh, this, you're getting this, right?
You want right now?
Now, it seems like it could be something so silly as to just have a live stream with shaving, right? But it turns out that I use my facial hair as a shield. No, not like Cap's shield, but more as a way to protect myself from seeing who I truly am. I didn't like how my face looked without facial hair. And part of this quest of becoming a better version of myself, not just for Avengers Campus, but for myself, is to love myself more. And that's why I shaved. I wanted to learn to love my face and my body as is, not a specific way, but all the time. The overall goal, and I was so nervous for it, was to force myself to be on this path of loving myself wholeheartedly. Also, during the month of May, I started my second 6-week program for this transformation called Center Unleashed. Now, this program was much more intense than the Center 6 was.
All right, so the day is May 18th, and I'm about to start the Center Unleashed challenge for 6 weeks with 7 days of workouts. Let's do it. So the Center Unleashed today was so much fun that it actually motivated me to do the other workouts too. So I did the 32-minute program workout, then a 50-minute muscle building, and a 10-minute bonus for endurance training. So for an hour and a half, I think I did pretty well today.
I was exercising every single day. With the Unleashed, it was 7 days a week, where it was 5 days with intense workouts, some of it being core, upper body, lower body focused. It changed every single day. Then one day was a 15 to 17 minute challenge, and then the following day was a stretch. I was so excited to actually find something that pushed me to every single day. And coincidentally, it didn't have any weight. So what I found as a good balance for this month was to do the 35 to 40 minute exercises for the 6 weeks program, and then add an additional hour of muscle building. This balance was to make sure that I continue to develop muscle, but also to help get tone and lean. One thing that I did find an issue for May was coming up with a strict diet, but for my birthday, I actually was given the book of the Superhero Nutrition, the book that was done by Steven Zim, who I'm sure you've seen the BuzzFeed videos about his work with none other than Chris Evans, which is why I'm wearing this with pride this month.
Aerial footage came out around Disney parks and around Disney California Adventure to show that construction has started back up for Avengers Campus, which means that after a 2-month hiatus, they are now working on it. So that probably means if everything goes according to plan, the project could be done as soon as September of this year.
On the plus side, towards the end of this month, we start to see announcements from Universal Orlando Resort and Walt Disney World, their opening dates. So Universal Orlando Resort opening June 5th, and Walt Disney World having a phased opening of Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom opening July 11th, and then having Epcot and Hollywood Studios open July 15th. Very exciting. It was very motivating for me to see that the theme parks are starting to open up again.
We've also seen construction for Avengers campus at Disney California Adventure continue, which could mean several things, but one that I'm hoping for means that when the parks reopen, so will Avengers campus. So all the more motivating to continue to work to the best of my ability, and we'll see what happens with this transformation. Overall, how do I feel? Mentally, I feel all over the place, a little overwhelmed. There's a lot that's been happening this month. Don't want to talk too much about it in this video because when this video comes out, it will be months ago. But living in the present now, experiencing what I am experiencing with what the whole world is experiencing right now, May has been tough. Making content for all of you has been very motivating. Having that great balance of making content, working on myself, been great during this journey, and I'm so grateful that I've had this time and this opportunity to build that relationship with all of you and to build that relationship with myself. Looking forward to June. It's exciting, and hopefully the theme parks start opening. I'm gonna probably have to push back my expected date for when Disneyland opens because Walt Disney World's gonna be opening mid-July, but Disneyland probably not until August or late September. No matter what, this video is about my transformation. I feel stronger. I feel like I'm starting to lose weight on my face. I'm more confident in my abilities on the workouts, and I'm continuing this motivation to June and to the rest of the summer months.
So something happened during today's workout where it was almost as if like all of a sudden everything snapped and my mind went completely blank. I wasn't thinking about anything. I wasn't thinking about anything but the workout. This was new to me. I've never had this happen to me before, but I liked it. I felt so focused that I'm hoping future workouts will also be like this.
So in many ways, June felt like an inverse of earlier months. But before I go into why that was, let me talk a little bit about my workout regimen for this month. So I did 7 days a week for the entire month, and wow. That combined with a strict diet from the superhero nutrition diet by Steven Zim that I followed religiously.
Even my screen is all sweaty. Yeah, this is June 1st. First time doing the new week with a new diet, and oh my goodness, I am very sweaty, so hopefully means it's actually doing something.
I was super happy, and I actually had results. For the first time this entire challenge, and for the first time in my entire life, I had protruding abs. It was for the first time ever that I actually could see ab lines, and I could actually see how much my body has changed since I started this back in January. The Center Unleashed challenge every week got harder because we went from, when I started last month, it was a bit of a warm up. It was still kicking my butt, but here doing the supersets, that's what triggered this transformation for me for this month, was the fact that combining supersets with the diet that I was on, I didn't realize that apple cider vinegar had such an effect, but I really do believe that apple cider vinegar is the reason why my metabolism worked the way it did this past month. Don't recommend it for just anybody, but if you really want to see some transformations, apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons, and then 12 ounces of water. First thing every morning, that will definitely kick you into high gear. I worked out a lot. I exercised a lot this month, and I was really happy with it. And I saw what my full potential is, and that made me really happy. That made me push myself even further. In fact, one of the last weeks of this month, I actually went to Philadelphia with my dad on a trip. And of course, now that we're in this pandemic, all of the fitness centers are closed, but that did not stop me. So fitness centers aren't open, so I'm just gonna work out here in the little courtyard. This is what makes or breaks. I went out in the courtyard, I worked out. I went on the steps in Philadelphia that Rocky Balboa ran up. I did the Rocky Balboa workout. I did the Center Unleashed workout. I was constantly pushing myself. I gave myself no excuse. And I think that's what's really important with this challenge. There's no excuse. Now, the emotional side of this month, when we started at the very beginning on June 10th, City Walk at Universal Studios opened up. In fact, I was so happy that Universal must have seen it in my Instagram post and used that photo for their Instagram post. Super happy about that. But on that day, it was also announced that the opening date for Disneyland Resort here in California was going to be July 17th. Super exciting news. After I worked out, I saw that the Disney parks have proposed July 17th. So that is, of course, the 65th anniversary of the Disney parks. And the day before Avengers Campus was supposed to open. So I don't think it will be still opening July 18th, but it is definitely going to open before the end of this year. And then at the end of this month, it was announced that it was no longer going to be July 17th, and it went back to the status of closed until further notice. A big bummer, because it seemed like, and including with that retheming, it seems like Avengers Campus is still being pushed and is a priority for the Disneyland Resort, so it is my priority as well. I'm making sure to work out every single day with the thought in mind that I will be at Avengers Campus opening day, and I need to have this transformation. That's what the whole goal of this long transformation video is. Going forward with July, I want to continue to push myself to do an hour-and-a-half workouts every day, except for one day of the week where that's a full stretch day. I found that that was very beneficial for my body to spend an entire day focused on stretching. That I cannot recommend enough. But theme parks are still closed, and we'll see for July if there's any announcements or any changes of that. But you all see that, and hopefully you'll start to see even more transformations on this guy. Everyone fails at who they're supposed to be. But the true measure of a person, of a hero, is how well they succeed at being who they really are. So today, July 2nd, officially marks halfway through 2020, which means that I am halfway through this challenge. I just need to push myself even harder in this last half than this first half. July was supposed to be the end of this challenge for me, and it gave me a lot of time to reflect on where I am, where I have been. So what I did for this challenge was that I did it all over again. I did it better this time. I started with the same workout that I started in February, and I noticed quite a big difference in my performance. I was able to do the challenge a lot easier and a lot better. My form was better, my strength, everything. If everything had gone according to plan, today I would be going to Avengers Campus. I'm not, but I'm still training for it. And when it opens, I'll be there. July was also supposed to be when Avengers Campus opened, so when this video was supposed to be over. But we are now in a stage where it doesn't seem like any of the Southern California theme parks will be opening for the rest of this year. So I'm taking this time to really focus on myself. So my form was better. My dieting was better than it has ever been. No matter where I was making food, healthy food. Food that was enjoyable, that I loved to consume. I was taking inspiration from everything around me. My environment, the people that I love, and it was just that much better for me. July opened my eyes to who I want to be as a person and how I want to impact this world. Instead of constantly pushing myself to make decisions, I wanted to just push myself to do it. Not rush into something that might not make me happy, but rush into something that I know will be enjoyable. Something that I will actually find pride in. Yes, there were a lot of hiccups, and the world that we're living in right now is a very scary place because this doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. But I'm here in the now, even though this is months ago from when you're actually watching this and when I put it all together. The mindset that I have going into August is I want to carry everything that I've learned here in July. Physically, I want to be the best shape I've ever been. And I could stop now. I could say right now, yes, I am stronger, I am more lean than I was when I started this challenge, boom. But that's not what I want to do. I'm going to continue this further, and I want to see what an additional 6 months will do to my body. Even more focused, this second half being even more strict and even more of a goal of actually changing for the best. And that's what August has in store for me. 2020 has been quite the hectic year, but it can only be better from this very moment. So as you can see, this is not the studio, and there's a really good reason for why that's not the studio. I'm not in California. That's right. So August was one of the biggest months of this entire year's transformation, and that's because I moved for law school. I am currently here in North Haven, Connecticut, going to school to start my journey of law school. But that didn't stop me. That didn't stop me at all with this journey itself. So August 1st, I moved, and it was pretty intense. For a week, I was buying all of this. I was making myself feel comfortable in this area. And then the following week, I had to find ways to exercise. So I was doing the Center 6, which was, I've done it multiple times now. I was continuing with that. But I was so excited that it was announced that Center 6 Phase 2 would start this month, and it did. And I started it this month, and I felt great. Another thing that I actually did this month was I got a gym membership. Unlike California, here in Connecticut, the gyms are open. Yes, you have to have a mask on the entire time, which I found to be very difficult when it came to cardio workouts. I had a really hard time breathing with those masks, but I did. I managed it. I got my workouts in. I did not stop, and I will continue to progress.
Well, I started my workout in the rain and it was pouring a little bit, but then, yeah, completely got my mat. Thankfully got my textbooks in, but yeah, now I'm gonna have to try and save this mat, but yeah, that's not good.
Eating has been very good for me. I've been continuing with the diet that I have from the app, but I saw a lot of positive changes in the month of August. It's still crazy for me to be here just hours before I started recording this. 2 tornadoes just passed by, and that was interesting. That was a new experience for me, but I am taking this challenge, doing every month. What I found to be very therapeutic is to be able to update all of you, have this goal, right? That's been my motivation. Like, yes, I'm in law school. I'm focused on my studies, on making sure that I'm top of my class, but I can't let my fitness goal be pushed to the side. I always found an excuse, right? That was in undergrad, and even at the beginning of this challenge, I kept finding excuses when I was doing other things, but I did not want to stop, and thankfully I haven't stopped. Every positive aspect of the quarantine in California. When I was exercising every week in California, I continued that here. And I'm just so grateful that I've been able to focus on that. But now looking forward, now that I have a gym membership, I'm able to grab even heavier weights. I'm able to see myself start to progress more and more into the physique that I want at the end of this challenge. But that's another thing that I've also been coming to terms with, is the fact that yes, I have 4 months left of this challenge, but no matter what happens at the end of those 4 months, I have to remind myself that I am in a much better place mentally and physically than I was a year ago. 2020 has been an emotional roller coaster for all of us, but I can still say that this particular challenge has been a huge benefit for my well-being.
I'm about to start cooking, but as I always do when I'm cooking, I'm also surfing the internet. And I went on Instagram, and 13 minutes ago, president of the Disneyland park, Josh DeMauro, just posted a photo of him, Kevin Feige, at Avengers campus. It is safe to say that I've never been more jealous of a photo in my entire life.
September, it's a whole other beast. Be going more in depth in law school. I'm excited for the challenge. And I'm excited to continue this because you know what? I am worthy. So let's make sure that I prove that to not only myself, but to all of you. Here we are, end of September. I've been eating so much
lentil this month. I'm getting so sick of lentil.
Now, September was my first full month of law school. And one of my biggest accomplishments that I'm really proud of is the fact that I was consistently working out every week. I did not take a single week off. Sure, there were days it got a little bit harder than others, where I could have worked out before a class or in between classes or after class, because that was really my only options. I had a lot of reading, and of course, while I'm in class, there's no time to work out. I'm in class. Instead of going back to where it was like for me in January and February when I was with my deadbeat job, making it so that it was impossible for me to work out between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m., I made sure whenever there was a break between my classes, 30 minutes, time to work out. And I took a lot of space. I made sure to really take advantage of the fact that I have a patio, and I was going outside and I was working out in the sun. But I also went to the gym. Same as last month, it was very difficult and sometimes a little discouraging to be working out wearing a face mask. Of course, I was not gonna take off my face mask. I mean, I'm here to abide by the COVID-19 rules. I mean, we're in a pandemic after all. What I found the most helpful was that when I actually was able to put in that time to take a break from my studies, I really valued my moments when I was working out. Of course, I had my Center 6, the sequel, this entire month. Did really well. It was great to see that my shoulders have had some great buildup. My abs are not where I want them to be just yet, but they are getting there. My chest is looking pretty good. My legs always have had my good legs. But now in terms of the theme parks, it was announced this month that they're pushing back all the Marvel movies, and the first one coming out is in May, which makes me believe that Avengers Campus will not be opening until May. So even after this video, I'm still going to be consistently working out, getting to that goal. A bit of an emotional roller coaster this month, especially with the passing of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That put me in a bit of a headspace where I just was reminded of why I'm here in law school, why I'm working so hard. The mantra that you see behind me, I can do this all day, reminded me every single day why I am here. Dieting, my goodness, this month with dieting was really, really tricky. But I made sure that I found time to cook all of my meals. There was only one day where I just did not want to cook at all. But that day I especially worked hard on that planner. Every time I felt my motivation slipping just a little bit, I pivoted and I used that focus to continue. Why am I doing this, right? Why am I dedicating a year of my life to bettering myself, to starting these healthy habits, right? It's supposed to be a lifestyle. It's not just for this challenge. And coming to terms with that was really helpful. But I'm really excited to see what the rest of this challenge has. Theme parks are still closed, no sign of them opening anytime, which gives me all the more reason to be working as hard as I am. Law school underway, I make sure that in every single day I am studying, going to class, working out, and eating. I like to eat.
Happy Halloween!
Wow, I really didn't say that enough this month. So October was exactly what I had expected when I mentioned in September that it was going to be a bit of a challenge.
Today is October 5th, and in about 10 days' time, I have 3 midterms. And as you can see, I'm already starting to break out with some stress pimples. First time I've had them in like a year. It's 5:55, which means that there are 6 hours left of the day. I'm doing assignments that I have to prepare for midterms and to be reading for my classes tomorrow. This is the first day where I really can't work out at all. I don't have any time to work out today. And that's the first time this entire challenge that I don't start a week off by working out. Oh boy, okay, we'll see what happens with the rest of this week, but I don't want this to be a new tradition. I don't want to start this.
It was my first round of midterms for law school, was at the beginning of this month. And
It was a lot more than I expected. I thought that I would still be able to manage my half hour to an hour of working out. I just couldn't. Every second of that first 2 weeks of October was dedicated to my midterms. So it did put me in a bit of a spell because, October, spell. This is a time of year where people are very proud to show off the hard work that they've put throughout the year, right? This is Halloween, people are dressing up. So it did put me in a bit of an awkward mental state because I started to compare myself to others. I was seeing guys dressed in Halloween costumes, right? Dressed as Spider-Man and dressed as all these different heroes, and seeing how they've progressed and how they have what I want to have made me a bit, envious. And then I started to realize that that's not the right mindset, right? Just as much as I'm building muscle with this challenge, I need to also be building a positive mindset when it comes to my physique. I'm really surprised that I did not have as much candy as I thought I would have this month. Besides Halloween, really didn't have candy. I was really good. And that surprised me because ever since September, they've been advertising chocolates and candies nonstop. But I was good. Another thing that I was really proud of for this month was that I passed 300 days without soda. This is a huge deal for me because I thought that I would have IV feeding into my body Coca-Cola till the day I die. I never ever thought that I could go this long without soda, and I'm going to continue it way past this challenge. So to make up for those 2 weeks where I was not able to work out, because another thing is you can't make up for lost time. That doesn't exist when you're working out. I went from an average of 20-pound weights in barbells and dumbbells to doing 30 to 35 pounds.
So this is actually, the reason why I'm wearing this outfit today is that when I started Centra Unleashed 4 months ago now, it was along these lines. I was wearing this outfit and I felt really confident, like I could do, hour and a half sessions. Now I feel even stronger. And I think even with the mask that I'm wearing, it's putting me even more into this intense state where I'm like oxygen deprived and I need to focus. And it's really good for my workouts. I'm able to go more focused and I'm stronger with my movement. I'm more confident with my movements. I'm definitely a lot stronger than I was 4 months ago. And it's all because of this constant pushing. And I'm so happy with that. And it's really cool, to see a comparison of my timeline throughout this year.
The fact that I was using more machines, I wasn't just using dumbbells, I was actually using almost every aspect of the gym this month. It made me really happy. And that's something that I'm gonna be continuing. I know I only have 2 months left of this challenge, but I'm gonna be pushing myself even harder. November, I'm gonna be incredibly strict with my diet. December, we'll see what happens, but I have 2 more months and I really wanna be in the best shape of my life by the end of this month. But no matter what, the goal is to be proud and to stay positive of how far I've come in these 8 months of consistently working out.
I asked you when you first started working out with me if you enjoyed working out.
Hated it.
So, now that all these months have passed, I felt like I would get a different response.
No, I still hate working out. That's definitely something that I found very different in this challenge is I like the routine aspect of going to the gym, but I do not like the gym. I would much rather prefer being at a Taekwondo studio doing martial arts than doing reps and sets and supersets. It to me is still very tedious. It's not a passion. Maybe it'll change, but after 8 months, it has not changed.
So one thing I don't know if I've shown in this challenge yet is I've been consistently drinking apple cider vinegar every morning.
It's a great way to boost the metabolism, to detoxify. So I have it every morning. I pour it into a cup, then I dilute the hell out of it, put 2 tablespoons, and then I dilute it with water, and then I drink it from a straw because it is acid. It will burn off the enamel from your teeth, so it's important that you don't get it on your teeth, so you try drinking behind your teeth. And I've been doing this challenge for 9 months, and the apple cider vinegar is still the worst part of my day. This is part of the sacrifice of getting where I want to be.
I'm gone for 4 months and my closet is raided by my little brother. Well, it's November and I am so happy to be back in California. I actually was in California twice this month. So first I flew in on October 31st and I was here for the election. It actually was a very stressful time for me, so it was perfect that I actually had this challenge because I was working out every single day, twice, even sometimes 3 times a day, just to really focus on something that wasn't the election.
Today is actually a lot harder than I thought it would be. I've just been stressed all day, so I've been working out. I've been working out for 2 hours now. I'm going to continue to work out. I'm just so... I can't even focus on anything, so might as well do this at least. Focus on my body, actually do something that I can control.
Then November 6th came and Miles was born and I was so excited. In case you don't know, Miles, my nephew, Josue's little baby boy. So happy that he was here. That motivated me even further. Like it was just this rush of joy. Like I had to be strong for him. I had to be the best uncle I could possibly be. I know I say this a lot, but maybe that's just because this is what the theme of 2020 is. November was a roller coaster. The fact that I started the month here and I'm ending the month back in California, moved back, taking my finals.
Today is Monday, November 16th. Also known as the beginning of Hell Week. It's a lot, but I can do it.
At the moment that I'm recording this is the day before I begin my finals for my first semester of law school. There's a lot that needs to be done here. It's a bit of a pickup, but the fact that, you know, I've come back and I've seen so much change, right? I've seen how much I've grown as a person, how much my body has shaped. Not where I want it to be, but you know what? That's okay. I am where I am. I actually miss the gym. When I left the gym for the last time this year, it was a bit like saying a farewell. This challenge really has made me push myself to places I never thought I would go, and missing the gym was something I never thought I would ever do.
Just got back from the gym for the last time this year. It's crazy to think how much time has passed and how little time has actually passed as well. I can't believe that was my last time in a gym for 2020. It feels like there's still so much time, but there's really not. There's 1 month left now, and it's just crazy to me, you know, how much time has gone by. And, well, the rest is going to be at home.
But I'm so happy to be back. My eating for November was a bit seasonal. I actually had some pumpkin spice dishes that were not bad. Now I see going into the holiday season is going to be a little bit more tough when it comes to my eating, sticking to a diet. And I want to be a little more lenient on that. As long as I am exercising, as long as I am getting at least an hour a day workout, the fact that I've been able to push doing 6 days of the week for so long is so cool. And I want to continue that for the end of this challenge and even continuing into 2021. But for right now, I'm really happy where I am with this challenge, and I'm really excited to see what this last month will do. Do I feel stronger? Yes. Do I physically like how I look more? Yes.
do I feel content with myself than I did when I first left for Connecticut? Absolutely. But I'm so happy to be back in California. So here we are, finally at December, the last monthly recap of this project, of this challenge. And I have to say, December was a huge month for me. First off, I had my finals for my first semester of law school. So my first ever law school finals went from December 1st all the way to December 15th. So the setback for this video and for this challenge was that I didn't work out at all except for 2 times during those 15 days. I just couldn't. This was way too important. And yeah, so this video is important too, but the education took center stage for those 15 days.
Just taking a second to step outside because I am officially done with my first semester of law school. Just submitted my last exam of law school. It was the last exam of my first finals week. I feel really good. Already, I'm just trying to relax a little bit. It was brutal, it was stressful. And especially coming with this challenge. I only worked out for twice in the past 2 weeks, maybe 4 times. Got a lot of catching up to do these next 2 weeks before this challenge is over.
Another huge accomplishment that I had in this month was that I surpassed 1 year, 1 complete turn around the sun with me not having any soda. And I'll talk about this more in a future video.
Today is December 29th, which means I am officially 1 year without soda. That is a pretty cool accomplishment. It was a rough road, but I'm really proud of that.
This was huge for me. I had soda every single day. I had Coke. Coke and Pepsi were my 2 choices, and I would have at least 2 liters a week, at least. And then I went completely cold turkey December 29th, and I didn't have any. And I still haven't had any since. That is huge for me. So excited, so happy, and so grateful that I had the strength from the people around me, the support from the people around me to accomplish this. After those 15 days, I was actually doing a different kind of workout where I was working on my brother's apartment, completely remodeling it. I was redoing the flooring, so I was using power tools and I was lifting boards and I was lifting mirrors and tools and other objects in the apartment. So I definitely was getting a good pump. It just wasn't with iron, it was with mirrors. But here I am, 1 year. I'm recording this on December 31st, meaning 2020 is over. For the month of December, I accomplished a lot that I was proud of. I made sure, yes, my diet swayed a little bit because I was doing more construction work than I was actually spending time going grocery shopping and making sure that I was eating healthy. It's the holiday season. I tried my best, but with Christmas and with New Year's Eve, it was hard. It was hard. And you know what? You can fault me all you want, but I'm gonna be honest with all of you. I slipped a couple of times this month, and I'm pretty sure some of you did too. But December was huge in accomplishments and really the culmination of this past year. And there's nothing left to say but farewell 2020.
Assemble.
2021! It's pretty crazy after a year, my hair goes back to where it started. Such is life in quarantine. So I want to leave this video with some of my thoughts, my final thoughts about this entire journey. There was a few things that I learned along the way, but I still very much, I don't know, I'm in a state of shock that I'm actually making this part of the video now. It feels like it was just yesterday that I turned on this camera and I made a promise that I was nervous to make, because if I would fail, it would be a huge embarrassment to myself that I made this promise to everybody, to the world, to all of you, that I would have this big transformation. And there's a part of my brain that's doubting that I'm even at that point. And I think it's because throughout all of this, I'm seeing myself, right? I'm not looking at someone else. I'm me. And I was very happy today to actually film the after part. I had originally filmed the before part just for myself, but I'm so confident in myself now that I'm actually putting it right here for all of you to see side by side. And yeah, there was a transformation. Is it as extreme as, let's say, Kumail Nanjiani? No, but he even said himself that he had a team behind him. All I had was an app and my dedication. There was transformation, as you see, and I look a lot closer to becoming an Avenger than I did a year ago. So no matter what happens, from this moment on, I don't see this as a failure. If I did, I would have scrapped this video and it would have never seen the light of day. And if you are at this point watching, thank you. I know that watching 12 months and some change is a lot. It was therapeutic for me many times when I was doing this challenge to just go in my pocket, pull out my phone, hit the record button, and start talking about how I was feeling. And it was really good for myself, especially when I moved to Connecticut. I was by myself for most of that, and then I'd take out my phone and I realized that I'm not the only person who probably feels this way, especially with 2020. And I know that I'm not the only person that got out of 2020 even stronger than when they entered. Not physically, but emotionally, mentally. We're in a turning point in our lives, all of us. Not everyone is handed the same deck of cards. And I will never tell you that what I did, my journey, in any way diminishes what yours is. Maybe you lost some weight. Maybe you learned a new skill. Maybe you did something that you had been putting in the back of your mind for years. But because of 2020, you finally had the courage. You had no more excuses around you. You took charge and you did it. And I am so proud of you. We're in this new era now where we've seen what happens if there's no excuses. The world took away my excuse of not being able to go to the gym. Well, the world actually took away my gym. It took away the excuse that I told myself, you know, if I had more time, I could make healthier meals. If I had more time, I could work out. The world told me, all right, here you go. Here's some time. And did I take advantage of it all the time? Probably not. But that's what this was. And that's why I was as honest as I could have been every single month when I was reflecting that month. That was me and my most vulnerable state. This whole video is the view of my life for 1 year. I start the video on a plane eating pineapple from France. And now the border to France is shut down. In the video, I talk about, oh, I hope this is only a glimmer. Being so naive that I didn't know that this would continue to be our realities. But even so, these past 10 months, I know that we are all incredibly strong because of it. And I know that Disneyland has been shut down for almost 10 months now. And that means that we haven't had that piece of magic that we've always escaped to. Build your own escape. Embrace the world, embrace what you see. And if you don't like it, find another way to make it just a little more magical. I'm recording this video right now, not exactly sure what the outcome is going to be when I post this. But if it inspires just one person, just one, then it will have been worth it. I want to talk about 3 things that if for any reason you decide that you want to follow the similar path that I do. 3 things that I learned the hard way that I don't want you to experience, that I want you to avoid. Learn from my mistakes. Number 1, step away from the scale. When I started back in November coming up with this idea, November 2019, I need to have a starting point, right? So I bought myself a scale and I stepped on the scale and it said 175 pounds. And I was like, okay, that's a little heavy. If I get down to maybe 150, I'll be okay. I went on the scale just a few days ago, and you know what it told me? 175. According to those 2 scales, in the past year, nothing's changed. But I feel like a completely different person now. I'm more certain of myself. I know what I want to do, what I want my footprint to be in this world. I know how I want to help others, how I'm going to do it. And how is that? Law school. When I start this video, I'm talking about studying for the LSAT. Now I'm starting my 2nd semester of my 1st year. I talk about in March how it's a crazy time we're living in. We're still living in that time. So I'm gonna make the most of it. Number 2, be good most of the time. If you go onto any part of YouTube, especially the beauty and the workout and where they intersect, it's all about body image. And it's all about how you can have these amazing transformations if you do this diet, where it completely restricts everything that you love. Don't do it. Sure, it will give you temporary happiness because you'll see that scale, or you'll see that image, or you will get compliments about it. The issue with all of that is that that only lasts for a second. If you decide after that 30-day diet that you go back on the 31st day to eating how you ate, you're gonna gain it all back. And how will that make you feel? And I'm not telling you then stick with a strict diet, because no, I didn't. I thought I had to. And I felt guilty anytime I ate anything that wasn't on my app. But you know what reality is? Reality is I want to live and I love food. So damn it, there's gonna be a day where I'm gonna want a grilled cheese from In-N-Out. Damn it, there's gonna be a day that I want an Impossible Whopper. Am I gonna work out harder because of it? Maybe. But damn it, I want that. And I'm not going to stop myself from living. Please, please don't let yourself ever get in that trap that you have to eat a certain way, that you have to stick to only one kind of diet. I know it's cliche to say it's a lifestyle, not a diet, right? But that's really what it is. It's the mental aspect that I'm trying to preach to all of you right now. Don't fall into the trap that so many companies are just waiting for you to do. Finally, my 3rd one, be patient. In a year's time, I've gained some muscle. I, in certain lightings, look better than in others. But I went into this deep, dark mental state because after months, in September, after I had moved in Connecticut, I remember looking myself in the mirror and thinking, I should just delete this video. There's no way that this is ever going to be watched by anybody, that this is going to interest anyone. Why? Because I'm not having this crazy transformation. I still don't have ab lines. No one's gonna watch this. Don't let that doubt get to you. And I know it's so much easier said than done, but trust me, if you tell yourself it's a lifestyle, it takes time. Think about how long you have lived the way you are living. It's not gonna go away like that. New habits. It's a new routine. Your body at first is not gonna know what it's doing. Your body will always try to have a set point for your weight, for your appearance, for everything. And when you go on a crazy diet, when you change your lifestyle, you're telling your body that it needs to change too. And the body is very resilient. So those 3 things: step off the scale, be good most of the time, be patient. Those 3, and I guarantee you will love your journey. Wow, that was a big tangent to go kind of emotional. Avengers Campus is not open right now, but I've got a... Now, at this part of the video, I was hoping to be at Avengers Campus and to do a bit of a montage of me at Avengers Campus dressed as Cap in the first Captain America movie. But it's not open, and it's not going to open for quite some time. So, I'll do you one better. Here's this workout montage. And there we go. This has been my journey. There's only one last thing to do. I've been trying all year. Let's see if I can do it now. Oh well, back to the gym.
Yeah, it's a hot day. I'm hanging in the sunshine. You should hit me with the splash gun so I cool down. Won't you come on over? We can party till the sun's down. Baby, let me buy you a drink while we're dancing to blink. I could go for some Queen Bee too. Macy's going boom boom. Baby, if you're looking for some crazy, I'll tell you everybody's standing in a line for the water slide. You can come on over. We can take the roller coaster. You know everybody's looking for a ride in the water slide. Water slide. Water slide. Surfing on a wave of good feelings. Well, it's just another Friday in paradise.
You're still here. It's over. Oh, you're expecting a post-credits scene like in every Marvel movie. Well, Avengers Campus is still closed and there are no Marvel movies out. You always see what's happening in the DC universe.